All right, boys, welcome to FPL Live. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Hello. Hey guys, great to have you all joining us here. Oh wow, that transitioned beautifully. I'm just watching the stream. That transitioned beautifully, Luke. Hats
I
off
did
to
it
you.
I did it so that the music kind of like fades out before we talk.
Yeah, you hit the nail right on the head there. Nice to have you all joining us, guys, again tonight. We're really excited for Game Week 13 and I guess to be on the podcast again. It's really good. So, how are you, Chief?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Just about gotten over my red arrow from last week, and things can only get better, right?
It can only get
well,
better.
they could be worse than me. So yeah, and how about you, Luke?
Yeah, it was a brutal week. I think I only had one return, and it was a clean sheet from Johnny Evans. So that kind of sums up my
I'm
week.
in the same boat as that.
Yeah.
Johnny Evans boat.
Yeah.
But guys, now which one of you
My
are
week
calling
same
boat as that? Right,
Yeah.
Johnny Evans boat.
Hold on, we're echoing.
But guys.
Okay. Sorry about the echo. I had the I think I had the stream playing in the background. We should be good now.
Okay. Can we just have someone say echo is fixed? Anyone? Just a bit of feedback.
Yeah,
Would
it should
great.
be good now.
Okay. All right. Will I continue my spiel? Looking for James Parter to save us with echo talk. Echo is egg,
fixed.
not fixed. Echo
There
is
we go.
Fixed.
All
Okay,
right.
we're fixed.
Good.
Echo is fixed, says Matthew Charles. Thank you, Matthew Charles. Okay, great. So, which of you in your column last week recommended Matt Phillips, though, as the guy everyone should bring in? A man who scored 14 points, which was almost half of what my entire team scored with 30 points.
Was
Which
that
of you
you?
on the podcast last week talked about just selling Aguero and just bringing in Costa and Kane instead? Who both got, it kills me. It kills me, guys. This game.
Yeah, it was a really brutal week last week. Like, I can't say I saw anyone with a good week on Twitter.
Maybe that just suggests we're all using the same teams now and we need to start differentiating it a bit and be a little bit risque.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, you guys want to get some questions going?
Yeah, for sure. Chief, you said you had a few questions lined up.
Yep. So it's a question that's all. It's something that we've intimated off air, and it's something that has been asked. Is it time to sell Sergio Aguero? Dun dun dun.
Mr. Luke, what do you
I honestly
think?
don't know the answer to that. It's an insane question to even ponder. We go season back after season back to back, and we always say Aguero's a must-have. And this season's a little different. We haven't seen him rotated as much as he has this season. So I think it's time to hold tight with Aguero. I don't think I would sell him yet, especially ahead of a Burnley game. But I don't know if I would buy him either. It's a tough call.
Chief, what about you?
I mean, the more I think about it, the more I think that if I sell Aguero, I can unlock funds and get better players. And let's be honest, Aguero hasn't been in form of late. Neither has Lukaku. I could sell both of them and get Kane and Costa, who are both in form, and are more likely perhaps to yield those fantasy returns that we so desperately want. It's something that I'm actually thinking about, although I still think it's a bit crazy to act upon, but it's something that is becoming viable. In fact, from the latest news that I've seen, Aguero apparently has a quote-unquote foot-related issue, so he may not even start tomorrow. So how about yourself? Where do you stand on that?
I'm selling him.
No.
There, yeah. I'm trying to have a drop mic effect there,
You've
but
committed.
yeah.
The thing with selling him
Luke,
right now is
Luke falls to the floor. FPL, who can't even fathom selling Aguero in the chat. Also, James Parter doesn't get it. It's
We sold Aguero, and that's quite interesting. We sold Aguero this week and didn't buy Costa. It opens the doors to so many other viable options. Exactly, that's what I've intimated there as well. So what
guys,
What are your
So I want to remind you of what I did last week in the most unscientific way of studying how to do well in FPL. Remember what we did, or remember what I did, and then I talked to you about. I looked at the top 2 people in FPL last week, and the common denominator, well, one of probably many, but the only one that I spotted in the very short time I actually gave them the light of day, was that neither of them had Sergio Aguero.
Yep. I do remember that. I'd be interested to see how they made off last week. It probably was pretty well for them, considering.
I'd imagine if I clicked on the top 2 this week, even though I don't remember who they were, I'm probably sure that they're right up there.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they definitely both had Costa.
Yeah. I mean, I won't say that selling him is the right move. I won't say that keeping him is the right move. I can't really say either way. I mean, Fantasy Football Pundits is right in the chat. It does free up quite a lot of funds, and you can do a world of good in your midfield by offloading him. So it's a really tough call.
So I'll get my proclamation. Will I get my proclamation out of the way on the issue? So what I'm going to do is okay. If you were to name one Liverpool midfielder who's good at home but probably pretty shite away, who would you say?
I already know the answer, so I can't answer it.
Well, I prepped you in advance so that you'd all sound knowledgeable.
It's Sadio Mane.
Oh, wow. How did you know? Yes, of course. Sadio Mane, the Liverpool sensation. So in his home games this season, so there's been only a few of them because, of course, Liverpool decided not to play games at the start of the season at home because they were fixing up that new bit of the stadium. So they had Leicester at home in game week 4. That was their first home game of the season. And Mr. Mane got a goal and an assist. A few weeks later, they demolished Hull 5-1. Mr. Mane got a goal. A few weeks later, they hosted Man United in the worst game of football known to man, and it was 0-0, so Mane got a clean sheet point, but that was it. A week later, though, West Brom came to town, and Sadio Mane got 1 goal and 1 assist. And then 2 weeks after that, Watford were demolished 6-1, Mr. Mane getting 2 goals in only 62 minutes on the pitch. This week they host Sunderland, who've actually won a game for the first time ever, so if anything, they're going to be caught out.
Yes.
And I think that our Mr. Mane, along with, I hope, Roberto Firmino, is going to be doing well. So what I'm looking at doing is selling Theo Walcott, who, on top of that new child we were talking about, who I presume has been born at this point, is also carrying a sore toe, which kept him out and meant he didn't start against PSG in midweek.
He did play.
Now, there is the argument
Alexis
Alexis Sanchez played. Even wait, you what now?
Yeah, I believe Walcott came on as a sub against PSG, right?
I believe you're incorrect.
Really? I thought someone said that he played.
I think someone was wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of it now, I don't know.
I was reading the match report the other night, and I didn't get to watch it, and I checked for that because I wanted to see if Sanchez played the full game.
He doesn't have a flag on FPL, so that makes me kind of think that he's okay.
He's probably okay, and he's probably going to start. But it's Burnley. Aren't they playing Burnley? Oh no, that's what West Ham. That's who Man City are playing. But it's Bournemouth, which makes you think actually you should probably hold on to him because it's Bournemouth.
Yeah, the dilemma that I'm in is I'm actually looking to get rid of him for Sigurdsson, and Sigurdsson is a nailed-on starter. So I mean,
it's plays as a striker who takes penalties, who is literally the only good player. It's,
that's
the debate right now.
Okay. Just a quick point here. So let's say you sell Aguero, you buy Mane, and you buy who's the other replacement you mentioned for your striker?
Did he mention? I don't think he mentioned one.
Was this addressed at me?
Yeah.
Yes.
What was the question?
Who would you replace Aguero for? I know you want to unlock funds to get Mane, but who would be the striker?
Well, you see, I'm also thinking of just going like all out, maybe -8ing it, and even bringing in Kevin De Bruyne as well, or doing something mental. I don't know, but.
Point to you, right? So you sell Aguero right now.
Echo! Wait, people are shouting echo.
It's just pundits. Maybe I'll turn it down. It is
just pundits. Okay, fair enough. It is just pundits.
Yeah, put it down, guys. Hold on.
I turned down the sound a little bit. Maybe that'll help. Fix the echo, damn it.
Why is there an echo?
Damn, okay. Well, when Mr. Prasad Road says it, you know it's true. As they say on...
Stag is echoing.
Oh.
Better. Okay.
All right, can I put this to you?
Yeah.
So you sell Aguero. He scores a brace against Burnley, will you rebuy him next week?
I hope that my echo is gone, and given that he plays Chelsea, no.
Echo for Payet.
Echo for. Yeah, I think if you're offloading Aguero, you have to commit to it because it's too hard to redistribute those funds again. I just can't see you really making 2 moves simply to get him back in.
Like as James Parter points out, if you really do ditch, then it's a medium-term decision.
Yep.
And pundits have now agreed with that. And then Jose Mourinho says he has triple Watford. You're insane.
Yep.
Wow.
Mental.
Have we got... Oh, so which striker was I thinking about bringing in? Which I'm going to try and like address someone's question at the same time. Someone mentioned Kane. I'm going to take that as an excuse to talk. Basically, Kane. No, not yet. I wouldn't quite classify Kane as an informed striker after 2 games in a row where he scored. But would I bring in Costa right now? Okay, all arguments say you probably should because he scores all the time. But of all the games to bring him in for, Spurs at home and then Man City away. Okay, Man City away they probably will score, but Spurs at home.
Yeah,
Diego
and
Costa.
Spurs
I don't know.
defense
I think
is actually pretty depleted right now. I think Toby is out. Ben Davies is out.
Ben Davies doesn't start in the league anywhere too often, does he?
Yeah, no, I think they've got one more injury that I can't remember, but basically their defense
Danny Rose is out too. Danny Rose is out too.
Yeah, so their defense is very depleted right now. So
sorry. Okay, sorry. There you go. That's my answer. So there, I'm bringing in Diego Costa.
yeah. I mean, I wish I could bring him in this week. The way that my funds work out, it's not possible without a hit, and I'm not going to take a hit just because I'm stubborn and. I've seen firsthand what those -4s do to your rank, so yeah, I'm gonna hold out.
So I've considered -4s a few times recently, and if I'd done them, I'd probably be in the top like freaking 10,000 players by now. So I've no seriously, like I've come to the view at this point that I'm just like screw it, I'm taking a -8 this week.
We have very different strategies.
I was playing your strategy, Luke, but I've just gone total Harry Carey. Like, I'm just like this is just not working anymore. Yeah.
I've got a question here. Is Costa being a dirty yoke a put-off in bullying him? In buying him? Why did I read that like that?
Greyhounds now. If you're not Irish, I'd be astounded.
Yeah. My thought is if you can get Costa in, you have to get him in. He is a must-have at this stage.
Yeah, like to use Greyhounds now's lovely phrasing of a dirty yoke. Costa has been a dirty yoke on 4 yellow cards. Is that like a really good association between the yolk of an egg, which is yellow, and yellow cards, and he's on 4 yellows? Did he put that much thought into it?
That is a very good way of putting it, I guess.
If you were a poet, Greyhounds now, English students right across the world would be saying that, and I guess you didn't even mean it.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I don't think he meant that, but there you go. I think just bring him in at this point, guys. Like, he just seems to be just that conniving guy who can just live on ice forever and just never fall in.
Yeah. And who knows, he may never get that yellow card.
He rarely scores big, but he scores every week. What do you want?
Yeah. The yellow card is really the problem, because if he wasn't on the 4th yellow card, it wouldn't even be a question to bring him in.
Yeah, like James Parter, who, by the way, someone asked if we have the stats-based prize this week. We don't have the stats-based prize, but if there was, James Parter would have just entered it with pointing out that Costa has only blanked twice this season.
But we have got something else that we can offer our listeners. So prize this week, Classic Football Shirts are doing a Black Friday promotion, 20% off all their stock. Go on the website, buy whatever you want, put in the code Black Friday, and you should get 20% off whatever you order, excluding the delivery. So we can't give you a prize for today, but be sure to make use of that offer if you wish to do so.
Like Mr. Shabby Alonso with an X instead of an O in the middle O on Twitter, whose other name is just Liam with a red arrow, points out that Mane at home after a blank always performs for us, who he means Liverpool. Now, that's the most inexact point ever, but it does kind of get at my point about Mane, that you should probably think of Mane.
Yeah, and that's actually a good segue. I kind of wanted to talk about captains this week. Liverpool against Sunderland seems to be the standout game that people are looking, especially with Aguero's fitness concerns. And like you said, Mane has a great home record, so he could be a good captain option this week. What else are you guys looking at for captains? I know I've probably got mine on Sanchez this week.
Same.
What? Sanchez?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you both for real?
Yes.
Why not?
Guys, I thought so much more of you. So
I'm definitely considering a Liverpool mid, though.
No.
you'd want to be doing a little bit more than considering now, I would think.
Yeah, you think I'm being crazy?
I think that Sanchez mightn't even start.
Really?
What?
Oh, jeez.
Okay, why? Okay, number one, we have Walcott coming back into the side. Giroud is staying in the side, surely. Sanchez, Wenger admitted last week, played with an injured leg after whatever that tweaked muscle that he had when he was playing for Chile. He played through it last weekend. He also played through it for the full 90 minutes against PSG in midweek. Why would, if Wenger plans on ever having a November that doesn't, consistently be the worst month for his team, and derail every title challenge that Arsenal have set in the last decade. If he's any sense at all, and I hope he does, for my sake, I guess in FPL too, he's going to bench Sanchez at the start.
Yeah, you think
He'll
so?
start.
I think.
Yeah,
I really think so. I really wouldn't.
Give me some history here with what Mr. Arsene Wenger says with respect to Sanchez. So many times in the past, he talks about, we need to give Sanchez a rest. He's in the red zone. We can't overwork him. Yet he plays him. Why would you bench one of your most consistent performers? And yeah, inevitably he is going to get he will get rested at some point, I guess, in December. I just can't see it happening right now. He must be a bit.
Why rest him in November? Why rest him in December when you can rest him in November?
Yeah, I
Against
actually
Bournemouth.
I'm starting to side with you a little more, Stag.
I guess what we're talking about is captaincy. We're talking about an Alexis Sanchez who looked unfit and not at his best. I know he won a penalty before someone screams it in the chat, but didn't look at his fittest, didn't look at his best in the Champions League in midweek. We're now talking about him coming back to England for a game that Arsenal should be able to win without their best player. Bournemouth don't even have their best player, which is, of course, Jack Wilshere. If you haven't been watching a Bournemouth game, you just need to see how creative that lad is. He's playing phenomenally well. His FPL returns are going to shoot up at some point. He's hit the post 4 or 5 times, which is more than probably anyone else in Europe, at a guess. He's also been just creating chances left, right, and centre. It just so happens that Bournemouth's best striker is playing for Brighton at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe I'll take it off Sanchez and I'll go for Firmino. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
it's between Firmino and Coutinho then.
Or do you just get in Sadio Mane?
No.
I don't get it in, but if you get him in, you could captain him. Definitely.
I think I will. Why not?
Chief,
Let's have a repeat of the whole
message up
Dele
top.
Alli thing again. I definitely haven't learnt my lessons.
I would rather have Firmino and Coutinho than Sadio Mane on his own.
Well, such is the luxury of getting rid of Costa. I could do that too.
Do you have Costa in your team?
Sorry, I meant Aguero if I said Costa there. Such is the luxury. Yeah, sorry, Freudian slip.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Right,
Chief, I don't know if you saw top.
We have a strange stat. We have a strange
hold
stat,
on.
which I'd love to get you out.
Tell us, what's the stat?
Wait, Luke is saying hold on.
Yeah, Chief, if you scroll up, Pundits in the YouTube chat actually has an offer. I'll read it. But he's...
I've seen it, and we're going to roll with that. So just to confirm, everyone listening in the chat, we aren't doing the usual competition, but on the YouTube chat, tweet us your most compelling stat, and we'll put it to the vote. And the most compelling tweet, most compelling stat, mind you, will win a prize advice courtesy of Fantasy Football Pundit. So we're going to roll with that. So get your stats in, and we'll read them, and we'll mention, we'll shortlist them as we go along.
So also as well, guys, just credit your stat, please. We don't want you just robbing stats. If you're robbing stats, at least do so with grace.
Yes.
And actually, someone has just backed up my point a little bit further. Paul Jones, Mane averages 9.4 points per game at home so far.
That's impressive.
That is impressive. I can't deny that.
Yeah, I'd say probably of the three Liverpool mids with Coutinho, Firmino, and Mane, you have to captain Mane if you have him, right?
Yep.
That would be.
Yep.
That seems to be the most apparent.
I don't think it's as simple as that, though. You've got, Firmino is capable of scoring and assisting, likewise Coutinho and Mane. It's the reason why I've been very reluctant to pick a Liverpool captain is any one of them could score. Not necessarily, they're not going to all score at the same time. So you're taking a risk. You might, you could captain you could captain someone else with an easy fixture where they are the dominant player within their team, and here you are, you're captaining one person, but you've got two other people who are as likely to score as them. Why take that chance? Why take that risk?
And I think that kind of segues really well towards another guy. He plays for an American. Who is it, Luke? Had a guess. Who does that segue towards? He plays for an American, and he's worth talking about, and it's a logical next person.
Luke.
Oh, it's Gylfi Sigurdsson, isn't it?
It's Gylfi Sigurdsson.
That's our man. Under the great Bob Bradley.
It's the great Bob Bradley. We'll see if he's great once he's won a Premier League game. But
I love him. I
love him
so much.
And he'd spoke in the chat really early on, so I'm going to try and I'm going to make an effort to delay actually finishing my sentence to try and credit the man. He mentioned Siggy to us last week, and all of us said, "Why would you get Siggy? That's just crazy." And here it is, Mitten Davda. That's you. You probably even typed since. But I asked about the importance of Siggy last week. Seems like a lot of people are bringing him in now. And I remember that, Mitten Davda. And I'm sorry for if I kind of rubbished your thoughts at the time. But I rubbished my own thoughts and didn't even follow my own advice. So I feel you, Mitten Davda. Yeah, take your bow. He comments in the chat. Yeah. So Siggy, what do we think?
Yeah, what do you think, Chief?
I'm a fan of Siggy, and from what I can see under Bradley's regime, he is playing in that advanced OOP position from time to time. I am going to get him, but I'm not going to get him just yet. I would say, if you really need him right now, then go for it, buy him now. But specifically, game week 15 onwards, Swansea have a cracking run of games. Sunderland at home, West Brom away, Borough away, West Ham at home, Bournemouth at home, Palace away. So, do you want to, it's up to you. We've got Palace at home this weekend. It just depends. But then look at Swansea. Are they scoring goals, in a free flow kind of way?
Yeah,
they aren't. That's the problem.
That's the thing.
But Gylfi is scoring almost every one of them, or is doing something in it.
Recently he is. I mean, at the start of the season, you had all of them chipping in, to a degree, albeit on a small scale. But if there is one Swansea player you're going to get, it has to be Gylfi Sigurdsson. And yeah, you could get him from now till game week 20. But it's a case of who would you sell? Would I sell a premium midfielder for Gylfi Sigurdsson? Of course not. Would I sell someone who is valued at the same price bracket? Then yeah, probably. It just depends who you're going to sell for him.
So since Gylfi has signed for Swansea, or I think so anyway, yeah, and just roll with me, I might be wrong, but in a certain period of time, we'll go with that, Swansea have scored 98 Premier League goals. How many of those do you think that Gylfi Sigurdsson has been involved in?
A lot of them.
Lots.
I'd
We're
say
talking out of 98. Come on, let's give a number.
55.
Lads, we're talking about Gylfi Sigurdsson, not Lionel Messi. 36, it's a good number. Goodness gracious, I don't know what you expect of the man.
he's a god.
But
At least half.
it's a sizable number. And it's just I kind of profiled Sigurdsson a little bit in my column this week, hence I can draw on my own stats. Look at that, I can plagiarise myself this week. So just last few weeks, alright, so he had 7 shots in the last few weeks, 5 of those hit the target, 3 of those were against Everton, 2 more of those were against Stoke. He's had 6 key passes, which is an average of 2 per game, obviously. And 1 of those was against Everton, 2 went against Benton United, and the remainder 6 came against Stoke. Sorry, it's 8 key passes, I misread. So he's doing the key passes, he's getting the shots off, he's playing as a striker, a lot anyway. He's on penalties still, would I be correct in saying that much?
Yep.
He's playing against Crystal Palace, who are terrible. They're currently in 16th place and have the joint 4th worst defence in the league, joint 3rd worst.
Yeah, I think
that.
I think you've got to try and get him in.
Like Alan Pardrew is a 3-0 loss away from the sack. Yeah, probably.
I going forward from game week 15 on, I'm 100% going to have Gylfi. The problem I'm running into is, do I want to get rid of Walcott this week? And I reckon I'll probably go up until the deadline trying to debate that.
I should do it. Get rid of Walcott. Get Sigurdsson.
I'm really leaning that way too. Just because how involved Sigurdsson is.
We want a live show transfer. Do it, Luke. Go on.
Go, Luke.
Don't pressure me.
If I had Walcott, I'd sell him and I'd get Sigurdsson right now. That's how convinced I've been from what I've read on the chat. From what you guys have said.
I'm going to get Mane instead because I'm going to sell Aguero and have loads of money. How about that, guys?
And if I can roll with Jordan Pickford in net this week. So, you know what? I'm doing it. Here it goes. Live transfer.
Whoa, and just kind of relevant there. So you two were both talking about I don't look at the chat while answering this question. So you two both thought, wow, that Sigurdsson must have been involved in every single goal that Swansea have scored. Ridiculous numbers, and I likened that to Lionel Messi. But of the players in England, who has had a hand in a higher share of their team league goals? Who has had the highest share of his team league goals? And how high a percentage would you say, Luke? Or wait, that's Chief.
Yes. I'm pretty sure he must at least 50%.
Josh Kramer has it in the chat, 75%. Source of the BBC.
Wow.
When Sunderland scored, when Sunderland scored, Defoe scores, right?
Pretty much. Either assists or scores.
Except for the fine exception of Victor Anichebe.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think about Defoe as a pickup for, I don't know. I see him as a second cheap striker if you want to do a 5 in the midfield kind of thing.
To be honest, Luke, I just see him as the second highest scoring striker in FPL right now.
Form is key.
Because that's what he is.
Form is key. I mean, I had Defoe, believe it or not, in the early part of the season. In those 2-3 weeks when he didn't score for me and I shipped him off. And I sort of regret that, but then I think to myself, there are better options out there. You've got to look at the form. And Sunderland aren't doing great as a team, but when they do score, he scores, right?
Freaking hell! I didn't realise he was doing as well as he is doing.
Yeah,
so,
he's doing pretty well.
Last 3 games. So, game week 10, Arsenal at home. They lost 4-1, but Defoe got a goal, 7 points. Game week 11, they went away to Bournemouth. They won a game miraculously. 12 points for Defoe after a goal and an assist. Last week, another win against Hull, 3-0 at the Stadium of Light, which went dark for a while. 1 goal, 1 assist, 11 points. The man's on fire.
He's on fire, yeah.
That's 30 points in 3 weeks.
And he's even past his prime. He's at a point in his life where you'd think he'd be scoring less goals. And if you look at his stats, he's actually scoring more goals, on a weekly, monthly basis, if you look at this season and last season, than what he used to do previously. His strike rate has been quite remarkable, and he is an FPL option. It's a case of you could easily fit him in your FPL team. In fact, I bought Charlie Austin in this week, and I could have easily bought Defoe. He's
playing Liverpool.
Yeah,
Liverpool don't beat teams; they outscore teams.
That's right. They concede goals. With me, I just got burnt once with Defoe this season. I didn't get burnt again, so I went with Charlie Austin.
I don't think you made a terrible choice given Charlie Austin's fixtures coming up.
Also,
I think he made a horrendous choice just based on the fact with hindsight.
Defoe he's not cheap. I only had 0.3 to play with, so Defoe costs more than 7.1, right?
Yeah.
He is currently 7.5, owned by 18.1%.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have been able to afford him anyway. So, well, we've got the pasta or egg question again, guys.
Oh, Max, it's good to have you back. I didn't even need to check who sent it.
Hey guys, I have a quick question from the YouTube chat. Prasad Road asked, better long-term prospect, Janmat or Holebas? What do you guys think? Quick answer.
I'm going to rush to the fixtures list.
Holebas.
Yeah, it's Holebas for me too, just because of his attacking threat.
Just because of the fact that last weekend was Sunderland's first clean sheet of the season. I think, wasn't it? It was definitely Pickford's. Wait, who do Watford play next time? I can't make a decision until I've seen it because Janmat also does get forward, but wait. Who were the options again? It was Janmat, wasn't it?
Yeah, Janmat or Holebas.
I'm just getting reminded of the Giroud red card massacre that happened a couple of years back, guys. That's just bringing back memories now.
That's one for the Christmas special if I've ever heard one. Actually, yeah, that would be great. Actually, I'm going to just make an appeal to viewers. If you want to start cutting clips from the podcast and putting them together with music, I don't know, best moments, not so much best moments, but hilarious moments, let's say High on Snodgrass, rings bells, whatever, put something together. We definitely play it out or tweet it out or whatever. We're more than happy to support our fans. I love that sort of stuff. I'm a real sucker for it. Thierry Henry asks, should I sell Sterling?
Yes.
Should you sell Sterling?
Luke?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Wait, Chief, which one would you sell first? Sterling the player or Sterling the currency?
Well, with the way the economy is going right now, I guess the money first. So, I mean, Sterling had a cracking start to the season, but he's not really done much since. I just, what are you getting out of him? You've got better options in that price bracket. I'd rather have Sigurdsson than Sterling. I'd rather have Capoue than Sterling right now, to be honest with you. But
Capoue, who I think currently is the most brought in player this game week.
Yeah, it needs to stop, honestly. I can't go another week with Capoue scoring.
Capoue just tried.
88,000 people deigned to bring in Etienne Capoue this week.
Oh my goodness.
And second place is... Oh, my computer has suddenly decided to not cooperate. Philippe Coutinho on 77,500.
Yeah.
And then Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah, so Sterling is up to... I can't see his price right now, but he's around 8.3 or so?
Worth it. He's not worth it. Yeah,
you can easily downgrade to Sigurdsson. You can downgrade to Walcott even.
What about the great slayer of the Eagles himself? The man who appreciates a good birthday cake? Yeah, Torre.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you say that, Stag. I was actually told by Luke late at night, a couple of days back, to not buy him. Do you remember that conversation, Luke?
Mm-hmm.
I was going to buy Yaya for a hit, and you're like, don't do it! And I had lots of likes for it. I was like, okay, then I won't. He's going to score a hat-trick now, He's going to score a hat-trick against Burnley, but...
Yeah, I can't be held responsible for that, though. Yeah, my thought process was, if it was a straight transfer, I'd say go for it. But for a hit, I can't say that he'll start 100% all the time. Just given Man City's quality in the midfield. And Yaya, can play a bunch of different roles. He can play that Gundogan box-to-box role. He can play the Fernandinho role and sit a little deeper. So Pep really does have quite a lot of choice for his midfield. So, yeah, that was my thought. I can't really say he'll start all the time.
Did Yaya play in midweek?
No, he's not in the Champions League squad. He can't play.
Crap! So he could definitely end up playing this weekend. So
I mean, odds are he does play this week.
that was
I don't know.
wasn't that the Pep Guardiola? Well, I'm questioning it, but I'm reading it at the same time, so I'm really not questioning it. But Guardiola said he's another guy who will help us with rotation in the team.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And what is the most scary word as an FPL manager, other than red card on Stephen's Day or Boxing Day, as Chief would call it, is rotation.
It's the other R word.
Yeah, the other R word. That is it.
Yeah, and going off that, Keith's dad on the YouTube chat said, "Who gets more minutes, Yaya or Gundogan?"
Who's Ross?
I don't know what ROS is.
ROS?
What does ROS mean?
Who gets more minutes?
ROS. Help us, people. Who is ROS as
Return
a midfielder?
on season? No, can't say. I'd say in the league, going forward immediately, Yaya will get more minutes just because Gundogan can play in the Champions League. Depends on how far we go through the tournament.
There's a Champions League game next week, and that's pretty much it for a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but Yaya's probably going to be going away to represent the good Ivory Coast.
Yeah, he will. That's true.
Is he retired?
Guys, should we? No, I don't think he is. Should we all answer one more question each? Then we'll pick a stat that we all like, and then we'll put it to the YouTube vote. How about that?
Yep, and then we can just do our teams at the end and wrap it up.
Yep.
All right,
we'll do that. So I've got a question here from the chat that I've just seen. Let me just go back up to it. Is De Bruyne essential? Stag.
You're asking a man who's almost considering bringing De Bruyne into his team because he thinks that he is essential because everything good that happens at Man City happens with De Bruyne. Maybe, yeah. I'm thinking of using all this massive hoard of money that I'm making. Like, what happens if I took a -12 and just, while crazed with money, decided to get rid of Lukaku and Aguero and whoever I brought in for Mane and maybe like Snodgrass, and then suddenly have this great like quadrate of De Bruyne and Mane and Costa and Defoe. What about that?
Yeah, I mean,
while I go absolutely crazy here, yeah, you keep talking about good old Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I don't know if you need to classify him necessarily as a must-own, but he's a fantastic pick. If you need a heavy-hitting midfielder, he's in the same bracket as Sanchez and Hazard, and we'll see how Sanchez gets on in the next few weeks. I think Hazard is still a better pick than KDB, but it's very, very close. And yeah, Stag, you're right. Everything that we scored does seem to go through him. So yeah, I think he's a good pick.
If I was to sit down and build a wildcard team right now, the first two players who would go on it would probably be Diego Costa and Kevin De Bruyne, because they score something every single week.
Yeah, if I was
Like,
going to
the fact of the
wildcard,
matter
I'd
is,
probably go
like,
for a cheap striker like Anichebe and do 5 in the midfield.
You just have to take, like, the fact of the matter is, okay, we all think, so how many points did De Bruyne get last week, guys? Because neither of you have him in your team, so you might not be aware.
How many did he get?
We got one back to return. 7?
Oh, well, yeah, there you go. 7. So, but
Brilliant.
So he got 7 from an assist, but he also got the bonus points. The fact of the matter is that in a team among mediocres, he's getting the bonus points. That was dangerous. That was with a B. That was with a B, guys. That was with a B. I scream. But yeah, wow, what a mess. I'll just stop talking
That's
and
gonna
let
be a
you
hashtag
take over. Great. Now it definitely is. Good work.
Upvote for bonus points.
Oh no, someone else talk. I can't. I'm just crying.
Okay, yeah, I think we've covered that angle. KDB's a good pick. Get him in if you need him.
Yep.
Do you guys want to go through your stats? You want to do the stats?
Yep, so I've picked a stat from what I've seen in the chat, and it's from Lucy Dennis. So, claiming less than 1 point per game in 2016, Statistically, Crystal Palace are the worst performing team in the top 4 divisions of English football. And that's from the BBC. That's on my shortlist.
Yeah, Crystal Palace is shocking lately. They've had a completely off the rails year.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I've got my stat. It's from Lebo_180 on Twitter, John. He says, here's a strange stat. Mahrez has completed just one pass to Vardy in the Premier League since September 17th. One pass in 356 minutes. And that comes from...
Where did that stat come from?
It comes from Big Sport on Twitter, at BigSportGB. I guess they're...
But did he like say where it actually came from though? Did he reference it or cite it?
Yeah, he referenced it.
Oh wow! Robert Harmer screams that stat is incorrect from the rafters.
Really?
But,
that stat is incorrect.
How is it incorrect? Could you...
Robert, please elaborate on your great claim.
Well, earlier today, I came across the exact same stat. So, let's get some clarification on that. And Stag, which stat do you like from what you've seen in the chat or on the...
So I was taking notes just to be sure. Number one, I want to address the Palace one and say that I said it last week and it's just been altered for whatever, the average has changed a week later. So I'm not too keen on that one. I am going to say and someone else's Thierry Henry is jumping in with it now, trying to steal some awards on this off Ireland, like you stole from Ireland the World Cup place in 2010. God damn it! But Paul Jones said the Mane 9.4 points at home. That was the average. That's pretty good. There's also the Kramer one, Josh Kramer's one about Defoe providing 75% of everything good that Sunderland have done this season.
Okay, so we've got our 3 picks, right? We've got the Crystal Palace stat. We've got Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy, and we've got Mane.
So let's simplify it. Mane, Mahrez, and Palace. So those are the 3 keywords we're going to use in the vote. And
don't type yet. Nobody. I have to get my phone out. For some reason, I always forget this, and there's always this stupid period where I haven't got my phone out yet. Every single week. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Go. Vote in the chat. Go.
So what were the options again for people who have already forgotten if they're like me?
Palace. So that's the Palace stat about being the worst team in 2016. It's the Mahrez Vardy passing stat, and it's the Mane 9.4 stat, and that's in relation to his points at home this season.
Wow, the child of prophecy just jumps in and says, I just put Jamie Vardy in. Wow. Palace, Mahrez, mine, McKenna. Palace. Lots. Chief has finally backed a winning horse.
Yes. Gone Palace. Just type Palace.
The Mane resurgent. No. Yes. We have 15 seconds left for all of you.
Palace.
Why is Cian McKenna continually screaming mine? Cian, write your actual stat.
He's upset that he didn't get in this week. It's okay, Cian.
If there's voters' irregularities, Cian, you need to speak now. There you go. That's your minute. And I think it pretty much, unless he's trying to say Mane, but Cian McKenna is not the winner.
I think
and it is whoever came forward with the Palace thing. Yeah.
Lucy, congratulations, Lucy.
Good.
So what does Lucy actually win with thanks to Fantasy Football Pundits?
I believe they said that they would actually get her a prize. Was it? I don't want to say it wrong.
Yeah,
I think they get her a shirt, but let's just wait for them to confirm it in the chat. And thank you very much for that as well, FFP. You've been very kind in your offer.
So before we jump in and round out with our transfers and the goodbyes, I'll just throw out a quick request to all of you guys to drop us a like if you've been enjoying the show so far. Chief, what are you going to do so? What's happening with your team?
My team is in total chaos, Stag, to be honest with you. I mean, that said, it's not, I'm not ranked 2 millionth in the world. I made one transfer this week. I sold Rashford and I bought in Austin on the basis that Rashford hasn't scored in ages. And Austin, although his form hasn't been that great recently, he's actually got a cracking run of games. So for me, I'm investing in the long term here, and I feel that with a few goals in the winter period, he's sure to score a few goals and his value should skyrocket as well. So that's the transfer I've made. The captain is Alexis Sanchez, and I'm not going to change it, I hope.
He hopes. I think Stag swayed me away from Sanchez this week, but if you want to go for it, you'll guarantee that he'll score at least, because I'm not captaining him.
Such is the way of life.
Yeah.
Should we just captain Pickford, guys? Let's have some fun and let's just captain our goalies.
Let's do it. I'm in.
Good one. I'm going backwards for 3 weeks in a row. That's not happening.
It'll be the week when he saves a penalty, he keeps a clean sheet, and he gets 3 bonus points. So that'll be like, what, 15, 16, 17 points, whatever it is. We captain him, and you get that random team who gets the most number of points for that game week. That will be us.
My history teacher was once 7th in that. Like my history teacher from secondary school. You remember when Hatem Ben Arfa got like a brace or a hat trick a few years back for for Hull maybe?
Yes.
You remember it came out of nowhere? Yeah, he captained him.
Wow, I had him in my.
That was what our great scholarly education was. Yeah.
Wow,
brilliant.
Hatem Ben Arfa talk.
Okay, Stag, do you want to talk about your team and then I'll finish it up?
Oh no, I'm actually deciding transfers right now. So I think
I'll go then.
Can I just suggestion if that's okay? So for those in the chat, put your captain, who you're going to captain in the chat. It's almost like a poll, so we can see what the trend is with respect to the captain. So whoever you're going to captain, right? Captain and whoever, just so that we get an idea of what's going on. That'd be quite interesting. And I'll leave it to you, Stag, to mention what's happening with your team.
I'll go, because Stag's making his decision.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had a pretty good plan going into this week. My plan at the moment is to, over the course of 2 weeks, drop Hugo Lloris, Theo Walcott, and Lukaku, and bring in Costa, Sigurdsson, and Jack Butland. Basically just a way to free up funds so that I can get Costa and get that necessary Chelsea cover. So, yeah, on the pod, we did it. Live transfer, Sigurdsson in for Walcott. I've currently got Pickford starting in goal. Hopefully he'll get some save points. It's almost guaranteed coming up against Liverpool. And right now my captain is going to be Bobby Firmino, but it's between him and Coutinho at the moment. So, yeah, that's the way I'm leaning.
You could literally toss a coin on those two, I guess.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, it might not even come down to matter. I mean, we've seen week after week they're both involved in goals. So, who knows? It's a toss-up.
And Luke, I'm looking at the chat of all those that have kindly mentioned who they're going to captain, and Firmino is a very popular captain pick.
Yeah.
And if he is going to play in that false number 9 role, he's bound to be involved in the goals.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to go for Firmino.
Guys, does anyone know where you can get stats on who has scored the most headers and who has conceded the most headers?
Conceded most headers. Interesting.
I can't say.
Because that would sway my decision on picking Olivier Giroud. Honestly, like the man does nothing except score headers, as far in my head.
Do
anyway.
you guys think that he's going to be starting?
How susceptible are Bournemouth to conceding headers, people? That's my.
Antonio has the most headers from Dylan Frazier.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, we all know that Antonio is just like literally just he has a head attached to his ankle. But
just
like anyone else, Swansea have conceded the most. Kian, can you give me a source or something? Just tweet it at me or something, because like
Stag, Stag, you're considering Giroud in for who this week?
Lukaku.
In for Lukaku.
What?
Okay.
So what am I? Who am I considering? Wait, was that a Y from Chief?
Hold on, say that again. So you're going to sell Lukaku and get Giroud?
I'm selling 3 players. I'm selling 3 players for a -8. That is confirmed.
Okay.
That much now, and 2 of the players who will go. Okay, so Aguero is going to go. and Walcott is going to go. And either, I know it's going to be stupid because I just brought the lad in last week, but either Snodgrass will go for another midfielder to come in, or else Lukaku will go for me to bring in another striker. Now, the other striker that I will bring in will not be Harry Kane because he's playing Chelsea this weekend, and Chelsea don't know how to concede goals anymore. They've genuinely forgotten. I could bring in Jermaine Defoe because the lad is good. I could bring in Harry Kane because, well, no, I'm not going to because I just said that. I could bring in Olivier Giroud, though, especially if there were...
His London Derby record in terms of scoring goals, the London Derby matches, I'm pretty sure his strike rate's 82%. He's got a cracking... If you got him just for this week onwards, that's worth bearing in mind. But sorry, carry on.
Yeah, just to butt in, I like the Giroud move, especially because we saw him on penalties this week, midweek against PSG as well.
That's true. But see, so I'm looking at Kane. Kane's next 5 fixtures, just to be really basic about it. Chelsea away, followed by Swansea at home, United away, Hull at home, Burnley away. He could conceivably score a brace in all of those games because it's Harry Kane. He's the only Spurs player who can score goals nowadays. Definitely not Dele Alli. Those of you who remember a few weeks ago. Olivier Giroud, on the other hand, he may not even play. He may not even start. He plays Bournemouth at home, West Ham away, Stoke home, and then the fixtures get a tad tougher for a while. Oof, I don't know. That's where I am right now. I'm falling between those. And who will I captain? It's probably going to be Sadio Mane because I'm that cool.
I think that's a good captain shout.
It's logical. I can't argue with that, and the stats don't lie on that front.
Yep. Yeah, so I guess if you're not ready to make your move, don't make your move. But just stay in touch with Stag on Twitter.
Sushant Garg, you just said Stoke, Sunderland and Watford have conceded the most headed goals on 8 via Squawka. Link me please at FPL Stag. I want to see these stats.
Yeah, so I guess...
Sorry, there we go. That's my abuse of power done for the week.
Yeah, so I guess I would go Giroud. Chief, who would you go?
Don't buy... you have to buy Defoe. Form and that domination, 75% involvement in goals. Have to buy him. When Sunderland score, he scores, Common sense.
All right, so I'm not gonna try and influence you. I'll let you make your decision, Stag. That's gonna be a
Meanwhile,
tough one.
I'll just try and influence everyone. Are we wrapping up, Sam?
Yeah. Just lead us out.
Okay, yeah. So it was actually a really fantastic show. I think this one really flowed well, bar for the great hashtag Venus points. It's been that's definitely my low point for the week. Hopefully my game week is a tad better. I hope everyone else has a good game week. It's been game week 13 is, I don't know. I associate game week 13 with a good game week, and I don't know why. But what are we all like? I don't know. How are we all feeling going into this game week? Are we scared? I'm terrified at this point.
It can't be any worse than last week.
Exactly.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, well, you see, you haven't dropped from the top 30,000 to outside the top 250,000 in the last 3 game weeks, now have you?
I have dropped from the top 30,000 to top 70,000 now. So.
Yeah, so when your team becomes lead, then you'll understand the pain.
I can't feel your pain, but I empathize.
Yeah. Okay. Anyhow, thank you very much for listening, everyone. Especially big thanks to Fantasy Football pundits for stepping in and providing a prize at not even short notice. They were literally within notice. I don't even know how it's not even short notice. What do you even describe that as? But top guys over there at Fantasy Football pundits. Great guys. As Donald Trump would probably say. So yeah, hashtag Venus out of the chat. We'd appreciate a like. We'd appreciate if you subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, and we'd appreciate if you interact with us through the game week. You'll find Chief at FPL Hints. You'll find Luke at FPL Thunshot. You'll find me at FPL Stag over on the Twitter sphere.
All right, great.
And someone else can wrap this up.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing more to say. Thanks, guys, for listening. We'll be back next week for Game Week 14, correct?
Yes, correct.
And okay,
correct. We don't have a midweek this week, do we?
I don't think so. No. All right, guys.
No
Thanks for
midweek
listening.
This week, so yes, Game Week 14. Thank you. Bye.
Cheers, guys.